baking vanilla cupcakes. Vanilla cupcakes are a staple. They're one of the first cupcakes you learn how to bake because they're a general crowd pleaser. Everybody likes vanilla cupcakes, and if you don't like other flavors, you definitely like vanilla cupcakes because they are plain and then they can be fancied up and dressed up to your peculiar taste. Our cupcake recipe we are baking today would not need a mixer. I like to do cupcakes that don't need mixers so that you don't feel there is a lot of work. When you just need a bowl and a whisk and you are good to go, it's easier to consider baking. Even though I know I said it's an easy cupcake, there are some things to take note of. You need to make sure that you measure your ingredients properly. If you're weighing or if you're using measuring cups, please measure your ingredients properly. Follow the recipe to the letter. If it says a cup, use a cup. If it doesn't indicate that you should heat it, do not heat it. If it also says room temperature, like for today we are using room temperature, eggs, milk, butter, let your butter be melted and be cooled. All our ingredients should be room temperature, or ensure you use room temperature. If you leave your eggs in the fridge, bring them out ahead of time before you want to bake. One other thing you should also note is do not overfill your cupcake pans. When you're filling up the cupcake pans with the batter, don't overfill them. If you overfill them, they'll spill in the oven, and that's not a pretty sight. One more important thing, your leavening agents, and this applies to baking generally, your baking soda, your baking powder, you need to make sure they're not expired before you use them. You need to check that they are still good, because if you use a bad batch of baking powder or baking soda in your baking will not turn out like it's supposed to, and then you start complaining that my cake didn't rise or certain other things. So now that we are done with those few things that I wanted to just remind you about, I think we'll go right into the baking. First thing we are going to do is to mix our dry ingredients together. So in a medium bowl we have our flour. We're going to add the salt. I know some people always wonder what's the place of salt in cake. When you miss it, then you know what the place is. Just put it in there. And then baking soda and baking powder. We whisk that all up together and we set it aside. The flour was already sifted, so you can sift yours. And so we set that aside. Now, in a bigger mixing bowl, we pour in our sugar and our melted butter, and we mix that together. Pour in our eggs, 2 eggs. If you know you don't care for the arm exercise, you can use a hand mixer, and then our 1 egg white. You don't have to carry this bit. And then you add vanilla. I'm using 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now we have all that mixed in. We alternate our flour and our milk. So you start with flour, milk, and flour. So you start with flour and end with milk. So just eyeball it and divide your flour into 3. First part flour, half of the milk, second part flour, remaining part of the milk, finally all the flour. Remember, like I always say, once you start to add your flour, you want to stop vigorously mixing. You just mix till you can no longer see traces of the flour. You don't want to overmix our cake so that it's not tough or dense. This still remains nice and fluffy. So I'm just going to finish up and incorporate the parts of the flour that I know were mixed in with my spatula. there you have it. Your vanilla cupcake batter is ready to be baked in the oven. By now your oven should have already been heating at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and 180 degrees Celsius. Yeah. Now we scoop them into cupcake liners. You can use an ice cream scoop. I'm just going to use an ice cream scoop today. Remember not to overfill the cupcake liners to avoid them spilling in the oven. We have videos of other cupcakes on this channel. We're going to bake this for between 15 to 18 minutes depending on your oven. Halfway through the baking, be sure to turn it around halfway through the baking to make sure they bake evenly. To check if they are done, you can insert a toothpick into the middle, and if the toothpick comes out dry without any cupcake crumbs or very little cupcake crumbs, it means that your cupcake is ready. You can also touch it, and if it bounces back lightly, your cupcake is ready. So off to the oven. Now these are out of the oven. Look at them, they look so yummy. This took about 16 minutes to bake. Remember, the recipe for this cake is in the description below, so just click on that and you get the detailed recipe. This is so good. I wish you could taste this. If you enjoyed this video, we have more videos like this on our page. If you make these cakes, please feel free to tag us when you make your creations on our social media handle. And also, if there are recipes you want us to see or try, please leave in the comment box. We'll be happy to try out these recipes with you. If you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to our page and also click the notification button so that when we have new videos like this, you'll be one of the first people to see it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Back to the cupcake.